Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ask Two. Ask Two of 4 asks of leading your life and business to soulful success. Hello, I am Lindsay Hindle, conscious abundance coach and manifesting mentor for highly sensitive humans. And I am so happy to be here with you this morning. I'm going to push little go time on Instagram as well. I just decided last minute, okay, let's go live on Insta at the same time. I don't normally do any lives on Insta. Usually you'll find me on Facebook. I also have a YouTube channel. I have a Facebook community called the Bravery Lab. And so I have a feeling folks are joining me from all of those places this morning. So welcome to you. Thanks for showing up here, ready to learn what is asked of you, what is really asked of you when you are wanting to create a soul-driven life and business and be soulfully successful in it. This is a whole different ball game if you are a highly sensitive person. This is a whole different ball game if you are new to the world of entrepreneurship. Hello, good to see you. Oh my gosh, my best friend just joined me on Instagram. Hello, Partha. To you on Facebook, welcome. So a soul-driven life and business is a whole different ball game than just kind of, regular success, right? Regular business, especially if you're a highly sensitive person or an empath. And what we get to do is we get to offer ourselves up for transformation. We get to offer ourselves to life in a whole different way than what has been asked of us before, when we might have been just kind of, going through the motions, doing a job or career that was like paying the bills, but not quite, satisfying us entirely. Or maybe we were going through the motions, building a business that was built on something that we studied at university for, or built, had experience around and kept doing because we were good at, but not necessarily filled us up, soulfully nourished us from that deeper level, or maybe made use of our intuitive or healing abilities that we always knew we had, but kept on the down low, right? Raise your hand if you have been that person where the majority of your life, you knew you had special gifts, you had healing abilities, you had intuitive abilities, you had helping abilities, but you kept them on the down low. You kept them hidden because, people thought you were weird. Where back in the day, it wasn't as common to be out in the open as a soulful practitioner, as a healer, as a meditation coach, or a yoga instructor. Even, a number of years ago, it was less common to see people offering, card readings and that kind of thing, or even, embodied movement coaching. There's so many things out there. There are people offering today. And let me know if that is what you are up to in the world. You have a gift, you have a business that you want to start, you've got a career shift you want to make, and you want to be making more use of those deep intuitive gifts that you have, and you're feeling stuck. Maybe you're feeling stuck, or maybe you are here because you just want to blow everything out of the water and take your small kind of little following that you have and just put it out there in the open, scale your business, and really create that abundance. Let me know if you are here for that. Drop that in the comments. And we are going to quickly dive into a little recap of what we covered yesterday, because it kind of relates to today. So yesterday I started off with Ask 1, which was what will be asked of you if you really want to create soulful success is an entirely new relationship with yourself. You will be asked to develop a relationship with your divine self, your core self, your soul self, which is a part of you, but also has to exist and has to integrate with your human self. Recognizing your divine self, that is the ask. If you're going to be soulfully successful, you need to embrace, open, and integrate and navigate that continual connection with your human self and your soul self, your divine self, which isn't always an easy task to do in the world that we live in that is really kind of anti-sensitive, that in a lot of places is almost anti-soul. So this is a relationship that we get to navigate. That is a requirement that is asked of you, and it is a beautiful opportunity as well as being complex, which is why it's the kind of work we don't want to do alone. Ask number 2, we're talking about resources today. And you're going to notice a theme as we go through all the 4 asks. You're going to notice this theme: relationship. Resources. We're talking about resources today. I'm going to explain about what that means, why it matters, what the 5 resources are to abundance, the 5 abundance resources, and why they matter to your soulful success. And the main thing we need to talk about is your relationship to these resources. Your relationship to these 5 abundance resources is going to determine really how much flow you get into, abundant flow you get into with your soulful success business or career, even how you really make sense of what it is you're meant to do in your purpose as you continually move along through the years of your development, and reaching people and crafting your mission and being in your purpose. Your relationship with these 5 resources is the quality of your relationship to these 5 resources, just like the quality of your relationship to your divine self is really going to determine, how quickly, how big, how meaningfully, how deeply you expand in this area. So let's talk about what those 5 resources are. I'm going to paper today, guys. We're not doing much slides on the computer. So the 5 resources. Now, when we talk about resources, the first one that everyone always thinks of is money. Money is a resource that we need to have a relationship with, a healthy relationship with, in order to flourish in our purpose, flourish in our soulful success. Money, right? Our relationship with money, how we spend it, how we see it, how we choose to look at it as investments, right? Investments in ourself, investments in our spiritual growth, our personal development, our mental health, our relationship health, our interconnection with others. Money is one of the 5 abundance resources that we must have a healthy relationship with. Now, if you're brave, let me know in the comments, a yes or no. Do you feel like you have a healthy relationship with how you spend and make money, with how you invest money into yourself, into your business, into your life, and how you manage that resource? Let me know if you're a yes or a no in terms of, do you feel like you have a healthy relationship with that resource? That is a resource that, creates a lot of anxiety. And I hear it a lot all the time of people that are afraid to, find and source money in order to make more money, to invest money into their training, into their business, in order to expand it, multiply it in the world. So having that healthy relationship is so important to success. But what else is involved here? Is a relationship. Here's another resource. Resource number 2 is creativity. This is not often something people consider as being a resource. This is a very important resource to have a relationship with. What is the quality of your relationship to your own creativity? There's a lot of wounding in this area. And I work with clients all the time who either have a really healthy relationship with their creativity, they've embraced it, they've always believed in their creativity. And then I work with people that have a kind of an unhealthy or closed off relationship to their creativity. They're closed off from their creative resources. They don't believe they're creative or a creator. And yet it is such an integral part of soulful success, right? When we are designing our life, we're creating a career that fulfills us. We're creating a business. We're putting our healing gifts into the world, our helping, our coaching, our creativity, our intuition, and our ability to innovate and put out those amazing products that only you can create, the amazing services that only you can create, the magical spin you can put on things that only you can do. That all comes from your creative self and your relationship with that self, and the resource that it is, and what you put out into the world and get back is essential to your soulful success. What else is involved here as a resource? Time. We have to have a healthy relationship with time. And especially when you're going to be, in the entrepreneurial world, managing your time, whether you're, doing a side hustle or you're in your business full time, managing your time, relating to time, creating, protecting your time are all skills that go into utilizing this resource to your maximum ability to show up, to serve, to be who you are in the world, who you're meant to be, to further your purpose, further the impact that you can make. So let me know in the comments, do you feel like you have a healthy relationship and a healthy use and a sourcing and resourcing of time? Be brave. Put your real comments in there. What is another resource? The infinite unknown potential. The whole concept around and your relationship to the infinite unknown potential. What does that mean? Well, the infinite unknown potential is everything that exists around you as possibility that you may or may not be aware of, the energy of possibility, of opportunities, of people, of things, of even money, ideas, everything that exists that is outside of, your conscious right now. The infinite unknown potential is just literally like the energetic soup of which any possibility can arise. Your relationship to that, right? Do you believe that there are things beyond you can see? That is the infinite unknown potential. Do you believe that at any moment you could have a genius idea that hits your head that you can run with and create money with? Do you believe there are people out there willing and wanting to embrace your services and come into contact with you and receive the gifts you have to share? That is all the infinite unknown potential, because it's unknown. We might not know it's there, we might not see it, but it exists. The huge possibility of that exists. Your relationship to the unknown is a friendly thing instead of a fearful thing. The quality of that is going to very much influence your soulful success. We get to be creators and innovators because we believe that there is infinite possibility for our ideas, for our service, for our impact, right? If you don't believe that, you're really going to struggle with a lot of avoiding, a lot of procrastinating, a lot of fear when it comes to shifting your career, building that soul-driven business that you really want to build, putting yourself out there. What is the fifth resource we need to have a relationship with in order to move forward and create abundance, create soulful success? That is love. Self-love and love with others. And not always humans, doesn't have to be humans, could be beings, plants, animals, but the feeling of love, the resource of love, how you draw on that from the mystery, from the divine, from the source, how you draw that relationship with yourself, of self-love, infusing your own connection of love with yourself, and of course, your interconnection with other human beings. So that is something we share a lot of inside the Bravery Lab, which, by the way, if you didn't know, I have a Facebook group called the Bravery Lab that is full of highly sensitive, empathic, ambitious humans who are supporting each other, loving each other forward into their highest selves, into their highest expression of their career or movement or business that they are building. So if you didn't know about that community, be sure to come and find that on Facebook, the Bravery Lab. So love. Our connection, our resourcing, our sourcing, our relationship to love is essential to our soulful success. Here is something that highly sensitive humans struggle with a lot when it comes to love, feeling love, and that is the struggle to be seen. And I see this so often in lots of clients that I coach, and the fear of being seen. Let me know if you have that fear. Are you avoiding getting on social media? Are you avoiding sharing your gifts more vocally, speaking your truth, putting messages out there, building your own tribe? If you are afraid to be seen, you know what that is really relating to? It's relating to the fear of being received by others, the lack of reception, and the amount of rejection that a lot of us face in our early years as sensitive people, as empaths, creates a wound around love, being able to open ourselves to be loved by other people. We fear, there's a lot of people that I work with whose fear of visibility, right, is directly related to their fear of not being received, of being rejected. That has been such a common experience. And so that is something that I really, specifically address in a lot of my coaching with people, because as you know, you cannot build a business online these days if you're afraid of being seen. It's kind of a necessary ask of you that you share your message, and the world does. There are people in the world that do want to receive your message, your healing, your intuition, your gifts, your knowledge, your service. But if you are feeling a block in terms of, will I be received by people well? That is related to your relationship with the resource of love. So let me know, you guys, let me know in the comments, does it make sense? Does this make sense to you that your relationship to each of these resources, and get this, it's a relationship within a relationship. Not only do you have a relationship with each of these resources individually, but as a whole, they all interrelate to each other. They all interrelate to each other. This is something that we go into depth into inside my Access Your Abundance program, because knowing how to navigate and source and integrate those relationships of those resources between themselves and your relationship with them is such an integral piece of creating abundance and moving yourself towards soulful success. Let me know if that makes sense. And if you have any questions that you want to ask today, I'm happy to spend a few minutes answering some questions about resources. One of the things that came to mind earlier today was my own experience of learning how all of this worked and the patience that it took for me to start understanding, okay, what do I need to do with myself, right? We're talking about ask, right? What is asked of you is to allow yourself to develop a new relationship with these resources, to have the patience to learn what your wounds are, right? Have the patience and put in the time to discover what are your blocks, what are your wounds around these resources, and to be patient with yourself in healing of them and moving forward and opening to new perspectives about how you can relate to them, how you can, create more of them and have a healthy relationship in your life. One of the things that I used to struggle with a lot was time. And like I mentioned before, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to create that soulful success, if you're going to be your own boss, your relationship to time is a huge one. Because believe it or not, when you might be in a career and you might be thinking, oh my gosh, if I just had the time, I could grow my business. This is something that I used to think. I've seen a lot of out there, this wishing for time. And then when I actually left my career and I had this big open space of my full days pretty much available to me, school hours, because I'm a mom too. I've got a 10-year-old. So between the hours of 9 to 3, I had all this open space of time. And yet I was stuck. I kept running into being stuck. I kept running into procrastination, just, not knowing where my time was going, wondering why I wasn't making more progress, why it was so hard to, finish the courses that I wanted to finish for myself, for my own personal development, and then create the courses that I wanted to create. And I finally figured out it was really about my relationship with time and the scarcity mindset around that. And when I turned that around, when I developed a healthier relationship with time, other things started to fall into place. I had space for my creativity. I had space to do that loving self inner work, right? Isn't it funny how we all say we're going to do that inner work we need to do to open up our soul, to open up, hey, right? Our divine connection to our divine self, that takes time. Being in love with ourselves and loving who we are, that takes a commitment of time to do that inner work. Well, if you have an unhealthy relationship to this resource where you're always thinking you never have enough of it, but you're never actually setting aside and committing yourself, devoting yourself to those chunks of time for that inner work or for your business, well, guess what? It's going to be a huge block point for you to create that soulful success. So I'm going to hop in the comments here. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, and I just want to see if this is landing and what you're all resonating with the most today. What is your number one takeaway? If you have a takeaway, let me know what that is in the comments. Is there a resource that you think you need a better relationship with? Or is all of them something that you all of a sudden are kind of cluing into? Oh yeah, I actually need a better relationship with all of those 5 resources if I'm going to really create my success in the world, in my business or career or a movement that you want to lead. And this is something that I work with a lot of people on. I'm not going to go into the details of the exact ways that I do that, because that would make this live stream way too long. But this is something that I do one-to-one with people and in group programs. So if this is the first time that we've met and you didn't know, I am a conscious abundance coach and manifesting mentor for highly sensitive humans. And I do work one-to-one with people as well as group programs. And I will be explaining a little bit more how we can work together a little bit more closely tomorrow. But for now, the biggest takeaway you can have is that the ask number 2, what you will be asked to redefine and navigate if you want to really truly create that soulful success, you will be asked to redefine and navigate new relationships with these 5 abundance resources. And that is the takeaway for today. That is ask number 2. I hope you've enjoyed this series so far. We did ask number 1 yesterday. We've done ask number 2. There are 2 more asks in the series, which is titled The 4 Asks of Leading Your Life and Business to Soulful Success. Tomorrow, we're going to do ask 3, and Friday will be ask 4. So be sure to come back, stick around, find me on my 5 Sites Facebook page or in the Bravery Lab. I will try and stream again to Instagram. Thanks so much, you guys, and have an amazing day. Bye.